Alright, here we go. How you guys doing? Hello, 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 hello. How was your day? Thank you for being here and watching. Thank you for hitting that click button, and clicking the video. Let's go. How's it going? Alright, Johnny with WhiskeyTango Coding. I am back. We're going to continue this kind of setup series, setting up your WPF. I'm going to do a little bit of coding, yes, but really mainly this isn't kind of a how to code kind of video or series. It's more for your setup and such. By all means, there's a lot of, YouTube channels out there that have kind of little tutorials and such on coding in XAML or coding in C# in general, right? So there's a lot of that out there. This is kind of to help support, your setup and just basically, getting a setup done and your resources set up and your libraries, resource dictionary libraries, yada yada yada, and the layout of your WPF application. Let's run this administrator. Running as administrator. I had to change up the music a little bit. I do apologize. I like to have music and stuff. I like to have some sound when I'm kind of streaming. I don't know, it just helps with the vibes and such, and and dead silence kind of irks me. So I do apologize. I was using nature music in yesterday's videos. Yeah, I know. Oh well, I don't know what to say. I didn't like it. Maybe a lot of you as well didn't care for it very much. Sounded like I was literally working outside by the ocean. So we're changing it up, all right? And I'm actually enjoying it. A lot of it is because of copyright. I don't want to get into it, but I really cringe on that stuff. Doing and creating videos with music, and then you get copyrighted. It's like all your work and all the hours and time you spent is all for nothing. So, but anyways, let's get off that tangent. Let's continue. So today we're gonna do, I guess I could recap a little bit. So the first few videos, we created folders, just to kind of, it's smart to do that. You're more organized and such. And so we created a control template so we can have some button styles and color styles. We have a text block style. Nothing too crazy, nothing too serious, but hey, it's, it's to help organize things, and it sets you up for styles for your buttons and such. The reason to do this is if you're coding and doing your design, right? This is your designer. Everything for your designer is done in XAML, okay? And then you got your code behind, which doesn't have anything right now, but eventually we'll get to doing some of that. But mainly this is kind of getting your design and your resources set up. Okay guys, so we have a button style set up, we have colors, we've got it all linked up here through our app.xaml. If you missed out, check out the first three videos. That'll kind of give you more in depth on how to set that up. So so we got that. We got some styles set up. I also have some here this is our main window, right? Basically the first window, because you can't have more than one. And let me just fit this here. We don't have much going on. This is kind of just the beginning, so let's see. Okay, so back to our XAML. So along with having your own resources, okay, you can also have some resources within your main window. Okay, so we got some basic ones here for border, canvas, styles, and such. Nothing too crazy. For a combo box, I did notice an error here. That's combo. I gotta fix this up. This is a checkbox style. And then something for a scroll bar. You can, there's a lot more that you can do. I was recommending that you kind of create your styles within your window resources here. And then once you're satisfied with, again, I've explained this in the first 3 videos, so you can check it out. But do all your setup here when you're satisfied with your style, because you can do more. If you look at my button style here, we can actually add, we have a button focus visual set up, we have a bunch of properties, and then we got some properties for the border of our button, and then we got some control template triggers, so some actions that happen when the program's running and you mouse over. Okay, so like I was saying, once you have it all kind of completed in here, and then create your resource. Okay, to see how to do that, well, check out the first 3 videos. That'd be awesome. Follow the series, and you'll know what's going on. So all we've done here really so far is just added a text box and a button. Nothing too special. But I'm going to do, so the next thing you want to do, so I'm going to continue, that's kind of a recap. So what you want to do is kind of figure the layout of the design, okay? Kind of the layout of your design, all right? So what I mean is, like maybe like I do this myself. You got your dimensions, okay? Oh, let's go to the right spot here. The dimensions of your window, right? Height and width, okay? On a scrap piece of paper, just kind of draw your rectangle out, and then whatever your project is, figure out how you want to lay it out. Where do you want buttons here? Do you want buttons here? Do you want a big, large window here? Do you want to have maybe file edit just like this? Maybe you want to have file edit and whatever else. I wouldn't add all this, but it's just kind of an idea, right? And then you can have maybe some other smaller buttons here with icons on another row. So I'm going to show you kind of like, so once you figure out your layout, you sketch it out, then you might have to do some math and stuff and figure out how much space you want. You have 2 types of containers, okay? And then one container is a stack panel, and there's also a grid, okay? So what we're gonna do is we have a main stack panel. I'm really just gonna stack panel everything kind of inside, and you build on it, kind of like layering a cake or making a sandwich. You know what I mean? You kind of do everything in layers. So one thing you don't want to do is kind of well, this. Let me just show you. Okay, so we're gonna put together some code here. And what we're going to do, let me just get the right document here. One I used, no, of course I can never find it when I need it. Is it this one? Let's see. I pretty much back up anything that I do on Notepad so that I can kind of reflect on it if I need to in the future. Okay, here we go. I think I found it. Okay, I guess what I could do first. Let's see. Yeah, this is it. Okay, just don't want to get confused here to what I'm working on. I got a few tabs going on here. Okay, so we're gonna add a border first. Okay, on top of our main stack panel. Okay, so if I build this, just show you. Okay, and then run it. Okay, you can see the edges here around it. You can also have a border around your main stack panel. So I'm gonna go like this, and it's transparent, and we're adding a border, which is gonna be within our stack panel. Okay, essentially that's what we've done. Okay, so now I'm gonna take this here and just move it. Whoops, too far. We're gonna move this just one. So what I'm doing here, here's a quick shortcut. So if you want to move a whole, like a whole set of code, you just highlight it, and you can either Control Tab or Shift Tab. I just pressed Tab, and it just pressed Tab. That's it, and it moved everything to the right. But you can also move it back. Just highlight the portion that you want to move, and I think it's either Control or it's Shift. I'm guessing right now. Oh, definitely not that. It's Shift Tab. Shift Tab. So it brought everything back to the left. Okay, we're going to tab it back. So it is going to jump around a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, I want to put some space here just so I know where I am. So we got a border around outside our stack panel. And this is the closing. Again, so make sure you put it in the proper location, right? So the border is the opening, and then here's the closing for the border. And then we have our stack panel inside of our border. Okay, so quick build, run this, and I know you don't really see anything, but there is a border there. Well, it's transparent, so there's not much to see. But we're gonna do that so you can add a border around everything. Let's see. I want to add some padding here, maybe just two, so that you can actually see something. I'm just gonna run some. Okay, let's run this. Maybe we'll see something. I don't know. It might have moved the button over a little bit. I guess as we progress, you'll see more. Okay. Anyways, we'll just carry on. It's just something else you can do, right? I wonder if I change the background, I guess you might actually see something too. It's is that a right? Let's find something darker. We'll go with forest green, and we'll add some padding. Let's see. A lot of it's testing and kind of figuring things out. Okay, I know a lot of people work with their designer kind of here. Look at that. Okay. But for me, I like to have more space, a visual space to see everything. You can see the padding around now, and there is a border. It was transparent, but you can see the radius of our border now. That's why you didn't see it before, but our actual application has a radius as well. So if I run this, you can see there's a border now. Okay, so that's what that's doing. Right? There you go. I'm glad I was able to show you that. So we're going to go back to transparent. There we go. Oh, I need some coffee. Is our music still playing? I turned it down a little bit so it wasn't too loud. All right, let's continue. Okay, where am I? What am I working on here? got just figuring out which one. I got too many tabs going here, jumping back and forth. Okay. I feel like what happened? Where is my code here? Okay, that's that. Maybe it is this one I'm working on. Yeah, I guess it'll work. Okay, so we got our main stack panel. Oh goodness gracious, sorry guys. I just want to set up, I want to show you how to set it up kind of the wrong way first, and then kind of get you on the right track for setting up the proper way. Okay, let's get into talking about this. Okay, where is, yeah, grid. Okay, we're gonna get rid of this. Okay, we're gonna get rid of this. Alright, same thing with the, well, I guess I could change it right here. I'm just gonna change this back to a grid. Okay, so the two main containers are stack panel and grid. Okay, so with a grid, pretty much a grid is obviously like just like Excel. You got rows and columns. Okay, so with a grid, you want to define your grid. Okay, so to define your grid, why do I always press S? I don't know. Row definitions. Okay, dot row definitions. Okay, close that. There we go. We need to do that. So this is for our rows, and then we're going to define some rows. Okay. Whoops. Row definition, and then the height for this row is going to be I don't know, 28. Okay, and then we're going to self-close that one. Okay, and just to kind of speed things up, I'm going to copy a few more here. So you can see, how many do I need? I don't know, about 6. Okay, change the values really quick. 52. I guess I could copy and paste everything I have. It would save a lot of time, but that's okay. Okay, 28. Alright, so we define some rows. And along with rows, you could define columns as well. Okay, so column, of course when you're doing that, but at least it auto changes. This is supposed to say column as well. There's a little trick here. If you could go like this. Oh, is it shift? I'm trying to remember. No. Alt. Hold your Alt button, highlight everything you want to change, and you can actually do quick edit on everything. Okay, so I only need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll delete one of these. I've got something wrong here. Oh, width. That's what it is. So hold this, and we're just going to change this to width. There we go. Fixed. Okay, 233, just gonna go with some random numbers here. If you're wondering what the asterisk is, it's kind of like, so you have your main dimensions, 720 by 1280, okay? So if you define some rows and you define some columns, really that's gonna fill in the gaps. It's kind of like an auto value. I don't want to over explain it, but I mean, I could set the hard code the value, but it really won't fill everything. So the asterisk kind of is like a filler. It auto adjusts, right? And you can actually go 2 times, you could go 4 times. This is just 1 times, obviously. That's just a quick explain on that. We're going to star this one, and we are going to go 19, and we're going to finish with 102. Okay, so I'm going to build this so you can look. Alright, so then there's nothing going on, obviously, right? And we deleted everything that we had, but if we go to our design, okay, let me fill this up, and you can actually see everything now. So, yes, I'm setting up, I'm kind of doing my layout, but here's the problem with doing this. Okay, as you can see, our columns kind of go across our rows. And so when you're working with columns and rows, well, you can't really stretch the information straight across. So this is kind of a wrong way of doing it to start out with. So what you're doing essentially is defining everything with your rows and columns, but it makes it harder for you to kind of work with stacking and stuff. It's kind of like making your sandwich, right? You need to be able to build your design kind of like you're layering a sandwich or layering a cake. If I put anything in here, then I have everything's kind of like buttons or whatever, for example. Everything is restricted. Let's say I wanted to fill this whole row here. Okay, so then when I actually want to fill the row with the color, then I have to define every column for what I'm doing. So I could actually show you for an example here. Bear with me, guys. Probably could use more coffee, and I'm not really organized. So I'm just winging this and trying to help you guys out. All right. Whoa, what did you? What? That's not a stack panel anymore, but I'm not sure what just happened there. I just pasted something. So I'm gonna just speed things up here. Okay, we're gonna do a rectangle fill. Okay, so we define some rows, we define some columns, right? And as you can see, it only rectangle filled, and obviously it's gonna do that automatically. This is row 0 and column 0. Okay, so it's kind of like indexing. I don't know if you've worked with arrays and such, but when you're doing your design, everything begins with 0. So this is the 0 row, 0 column. This is still 0 row, but this is row 1, this is row 2, row 3, row 4, and row 5. Okay, and then same thing with columns. This is column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4. Okay, hope that makes sense. So what I mean by defining, you have to actually do code for every row or every column within your row. So to do that, I'm just going to go like this. And obviously, if you look at your design, we want to fill this. We're still filling this row, but we want to fill this column. So now you have to tell the program, okay, what to fill. Okay, so we'll look at our design. You can see that we're still in row 0. When you don't actually have to tell it row 0, because the program knows it's the first row. Okay, so you don't have to explicitly say, hey, fill row 0. It knows where to begin. Okay, but you do have to define the columns. Okay, so to fill everything, I would have to go like this, and how many do we have? We have 5, so that's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and now we got everything filled. Okay, so you know, I don't really have the terminology and such, but without over explaining it, because I've laid out my grids and my row definitions and my column definitions for the whole project, if you will, it makes it more difficult. There's some extra code you're going to have to do because you have your columns encroaching your rows. And there is a way, and I'm going to show you, where you can actually set it up so that, let's say you wanted a column in here, okay? But you only wanted the column to be between the rows, okay? So you're set. This is kind of my main reason for showing you guys this, so that you're not trying to make your whole project with rows and columns first and then trying to work around that. It just makes it more challenging. You can't really, it's just not setting it up properly, if you will. Okay, I could continue on, I could keep making code like this, but it just, you know, makes things more difficult. Okay, so I'm just gonna speed things up because I already have some code already here. Okay, I'm not really teaching you guys how to, you know, type code in that. Hopefully you watch some WPF tutorials and you know kind of what's there. All right, so we're gonna look at this. Okay, so I've got a label essentially. Okay, you could use a text block. I could change it to a text block. Okay, it's self-closing. Okay, so this is actually supposed to be text. Okay, that's the difference between a label and a text block. Okay, so I've told it, I don't know why I'm telling it to be in row 0, but I'm explicitly telling it, and it should actually go there anyways. I don't really need to tell it explicitly. So the other thing I could do is, since we're kind of on this, I just need to, let's see, where is that? I had a text block somewhere. Style equals, and then static, just trying to remember, and then resource key. That's kind of where I was going. And so I want to open up my text block, and we have to give it the key. Okay, going back to my XAML here, resource key equals this. Okay, text block. Okay, I must have actually built it, but that's okay. So run it, there we go. So here's where the problem happens, okay? So I'm not saying it's a problem, okay? You only have so much width for this column, right? So let's say you wanted to have file and then edit. Let's say these were buttons and your buttons were only a certain dimension. Well, you'd have to adjust your columns so that you could get your buttons to fit within this column. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I just feel like maybe I'm not explaining it very well. Come on. Okay, of course my text isn't proper, but let's say, so this column here is 233 wide. Okay, so if my buttons are 75, so 75 times 3, and then you got margins on top of that, right? So I've already kind of figured this out, but it works out to 233, so with margins, right? So 225 is the width of your buttons alone. So you're going to have to end up adjusting your column. And the reason I'm saying that, if you don't have your columns and your rows crisscrossing each other, you won't have to worry about conflicting with any columns. Okay. Okay. So we're going to continue on a little bit. I hope that makes sense. Okay, and then I could add, let's say I'm going to add some more. Let's say we're going to do some stuff in grid row 1 here, okay? I'm just going to build it. And we're working in grid row 1 now. We got some margins set up. We have added button icon, telling it which grid, which row, and such. And these could be incorrect, but let's see. Okay, we got an actual icon, so we're in 0. So we have to fix the code here. So I added a button. Grid row 1, grid row 1. I don't need to be explicit about that. I'm defining its width. I could change it to 51 or leave it at 38. And then the content is icon, icon 1, icon 2. I don't know, I'm looking at some old code here, but that's okay. So everything, for some reason, this is where you have problems. Okay, I'm telling it to be in grid row 1, but it's not going there. Okay, it's in 0. Whoops. Let's see. I understand why it's doing that, to be honest. That's using grids. I guess I could tell it to be in a different column. That would fix that problem. No, that's why it's not, because I don't know how to type. I don't know how to do anything apparently today. Equals 0, 1. Stick it in 1. Should move everything over. Oh, you're really being a bugger today. 0, 1, let's go to 2. See what I mean? This is where you start having issues, okay? With your layout. And I don't know why it's not doing that. Okay? Oh, I know why. Oh, I'm being silly today. Okay, let's define it here. Control X, that's what I'm doing wrong. Define it here, not there. So let's get rid of this. There. That should fix it. Whoops. There. Okay, there we go. Half asleep today, I swear to God. That elevator music's putting me to sleep too, maybe. Have some more coffee. How's your day going? Hope it's going wonderful. Okay, there. So you actually have to explicitly tell it. That's why we use the grid stack, or the grid, and then the closing grid. It's best to define it in here. Okay, so the reason why this is happening is because of the way I have it set up, right? You got to do a little more thinking and actually be explicit about where you're putting it. Okay, let's go back here. Maybe I should stop on that. I've kind of already explained that, you know, kind of without over explaining it. My main goal here was to show you how to kind of the wrong way, and I'm doing a lot of things wrong today. I can tell. I know. It's okay, guys. So you don't want your columns, and you don't want columns crossing your rows. You want to do everything kind of like in layers. So with that said, there's going to be more thinking, and you're going to have to adjust your columns, and you're going to have to do more code, some extra code for like filling each column, and it just makes more work, where you could actually just define this whole area as a stack panel with an orientation that's vertical, and you only have to end up entering one line of code or whatever you're doing, and it'll fill everything. These columns here kind of like stops, if that makes any sense, right? You're kind of stopping here, and then you got to fill this, and then you're stopping here, and then you got to fill this, and then you're stopping here, and then you got to fill this. Just makes more work, and then you're gonna end up doing a lot of adjusting. Okay, I think that's enough of that. Okay, so we're gonna clean this up. We're gonna get rid of all this. and we're gonna kind of lay out this code kind of the proper way. We're gonna do it like stacks and layers. Okay, what am I at here for time? I'm at 35 minutes already. I'm trying to make these videos short. Okay, so this is a video on what not to do. Okay, guys, I'm gonna have a quick break and definitely need more coffee. And then in the next video, check it out. I appreciate it. Hopefully, I'm gonna be doing things a little bit better. And I'm gonna show you kind of how to layer the cakes, if you will, versus what I just showed you. Okay, so this is a what not to do video. All right, guys, I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Appreciate y'all supporters, especially you subscribers. Thank you for not quitting on me. You guys are awesome. That is it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.